Hey, what is up YouTube? My name is Lauren. Welcome to Laur Loves Literature. Today I'm going to be doing the Monster Mash book tag. I was inspired by my friend Sam over at Samantha Donovan, who I will link down below. She has done an amazing job with her Booktober. They really put in a lot of work and I think you should go check them out, as well as the original creators of this tag from I think 11 years ago, which is so awesome that it's still around. I will link all of that down below for you to go check out. Let us jump right into the questions. Number one, I was working in the lab late one night. What's a book that kept you up at night? For this, I chose Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. This is a slow, grief-centric horror. I actually made Sam read this for her Booktober, and I'll let you see how she fared with that. But this follows our main character but this is a sapphic romance, slow horror. We follow our main character as her wife has come back from a deep sea exploration. She was stuck on a submarine for, I believe, 3 months. And she was in the darkness of the ocean. She had no light for 3 months, and she has just come back a little bit different. And just this horror, and it wasn't so much about like the wowness or the gore, or I mean there's not gore in here, but you know, like the transformation that she goes through, it really was surrounded by grief. And this audiobook is quite short. I think it was like 6 hours or something like that. And I stayed up till 4 a.m. listening to it because it was just so good. Number two, my eyes beheld an eerie sight. What is the weirdest or creepiest shit you've ever read in a book? So I have a few different ones. First, I put Halloween Night in Virgin Sacrifice. I just hate the idea of like that movie Strangers or anything that has to do with people in masks like stalking me. Creepy. That movie Hush scared the crap out of me. Not for me. So if you've read that book, you know that scene on Halloween Night is terrifying. Some of the descriptions in The Grip of It, that is a haunted house book, and that book just has some creepy descriptions of like rooms that were there that are no longer there, or spaces that make no sense how they're existing. There's a creepy basement with writing on the wall. Like it gave me the chills, and it was a little creepy. The gore in The Har, this is a horror novel following our main character Muriel as she is in her, I believe her 80s, and she is trying not to sell her house as all of her neighbors have done to get them torn down to build a golf course or a resort or something. And there's a creature that comes to protect Muriel, and it will do whatever to protect her. And that I would have to say is the worst gore I've ever read, not like bad writing, but like the grossest gore I've ever read was in that book. And the creepy basement man in the September House. I literally described it as the creepy basement man. If you've read that book, you know. I only gave that book 3 stars, but it definitely had some really, really creepy moments. And the creepy basement man that runs around and tries to chop people up, that'll do it. That'll do it. Number 3, get a jolt from my electrodes. Name a book that completely shocked or surprised you. So this is one of those that I'm going to give a mix of answers. One of them is not horror, which is Divine Rivals. This just shocked me how much I loved it. It's one of my favorite books of the year. We follow 2 writers in a war between gods, and they are fighting to get this position at a newspaper, and they slowly kind of fall for each other. And we have the background of the war going on and kind of the politics of that going on with this romance. Very good. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. I went on a Geneva Rose kick earlier this year, and I didn't give any of them above 3 stars, but this one surprised me because of the ending. Like it genuinely, and I'm not sure it was like a good surprise because it kind of came out of left field, but yeah, it was something. Number 4, the guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. Name your favorite monster or villain from a book. I have The Heirs and Zodiac Academy. That is not like a horror novel, but it is kind of creepy, spooky, has all these creatures, and yeah. But The Heirs are four guys that are heirs to the throne, and our two main girls, they are twins, and I believe their names are Tori and Darcy, if I can remember correctly. I've only read the first one and I want to continue, but and they are kind of in the way of these guys getting the chance to have the throne, and it is just so good. And these guys are perfect villains, like in terms of a dark romance villain. They are snarky and annoying, and I just really liked them as villains. And then I also put the villain in the writing retreat. I'm not going to disclose who this villain is because it's not really clear that there should be a villain at the beginning, but there definitely is one. And I loved the writing retreat, and that is a book following our main character who is invited to an author's house along with some other writers to go on a writing retreat. What could go wrong, right? Wrong. Number 5, whatever happened to the Transylvania Twist? Name a book that was super hyped when it came out but no one talks about anymore. This one is not a thriller or a horror, but it is fall time, and that is The Lost Apothecary. This is a dual timeline story following our girls. One's a apothecary that helps women in bad situations back in the, I want to say 1800s, and then we have our current day lady who is discovering that this woman ever existed. I really enjoyed this. I think I only gave it 3 stars, but that's not a bad rating from me. I am kind of strict on my ratings, so I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed it enough. If you like historical fiction, I think you may enjoy this, but I included this because it did have a fall time feel to it, and I really rarely see people talk about this book. Or The London Seance Society is more horror, I guess, also by this author, and I believe I gave that one 3 stars as well. That one's more of a mystery, talking about somebody who has died surrounding a society for seances in London. I know, crazy. I am just so good with my explanations today. But both of those are good books. I would recommend Sarah Penner in general. If you're looking for something historical that has a magical vibe to it, and that goes by pretty fast. Number 6, they did the mash. Name your favorite book that is a mashup of 2 or more genres. So this is one that I had to do another non-horror. This is actually technically a mystery, and it's also tagged as a thriller, so I guess I'll count it for that. But Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. I think I've mentioned Charlotte McConaghy in every video for the past 5 videos. I just love her so much. But Wild Dark Shore follows a family as they live on a secluded island, and one day a woman washes up and she is asking questions that a lot of the family does not have the answers to, or they pretend to not have the answers to. Very, very good book, very dark book. I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, kind of out of my, it's literary fiction, but definitely has that dark tone to it. So I wrote mystery, thriller, literary fiction, and my light just died. I love that. We're gonna have to finish without a light. I apologize. There's not many questions left. It was a graveyard smash. What is your favorite horror novel? I really like the Cassidy Blake books by V.E. Schwab. This is a young teen who can see ghosts, and her parents run a fake ghost hunting show, and they can't see ghosts, but they kind of do the gimmicky, like, running around with night vision and all that stuff. And Cassidy's like, I can really see these ghosts. And a lot of times in each book there's like a ghost that she has to help in some way, or she has to run from in some way, and I really enjoyed those. Those are, like I said, middle grade, but super fun. The Horror for Gore, I would say, is like my favorite horror novel for gore. And The Writing Retreat. I just think that was crazy bonkers, such a good time, and I would really recommend to read The Writing Retreat. There's some questions towards the end here that I kind of feel are a little silly, but I mean, the whole thing's silly, but like, I mean, like, I don't really want to answer them. But the scene was rocking, all were digging the sounds. What's your favorite song based on a book? In general, I think the first Hunger Games soundtrack is so good. Safe and Sound, and I can't think of the name yet, but it's by Pistol Annies. That whole soundtrack on the first why can't I think of anything? First book is perfection. So I'll just say that. Number 9, tell them Boris sent you. What is your go-to book recommendation? I'm going to say Sadie by Courtney Summers. If you have followed me for any certain amount of time, you know that I love that book. That is kind of a thriller, young adult, coming of age book. We follow Sadie as her sister has gone missing and is presumed dead, and Sadie tries to track her sister's footsteps to find out what happened to her. I will say definitely look up the trigger warnings for this book and any book that I mentioned that you're interested in. There is some really, really dark themes in this book, but it is so fantastic. I think I've read it 4 or 5 times now, and every time I just get something else from it. So, for the living for the dead, this match was meant to, who do you tag? Since it's already Halloween, I'm not going to tag anybody, but if you want to answer these questions, feel free. And bonus question, what is your favorite thing about Halloween? I love the costumes. I just love seeing on my TikTok and in person. I love passing out candy to kids. I think it is so fun. And I love costumes. What can I say? I think people are so creative sometimes, and it just makes me really happy to see people just goofing off and having a good time, you know? I think sometimes we can take ourselves too seriously, and we need to just eat some candy, chill out, wear funny costumes, and vibe. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry my light died. I would love to hear any of your answers to the questions down below. Are you a horror reader? Do you like horror? Is it something that you want to dip your toe into? Leave me a comment down below, and I will talk to you very, very soon.